It is frigid outside. Holy smokes. I bought a new garage heater, so I'm going to set that up now because it is cold outside. So if you watch a lot of my videos, you'll know that I get kind of nerdy when it comes to heaters. But that's just because my whole life I've been fighting the cold. I hate the cold. And I never used to care about heat. And now that I'm older, my whole body hurts. I like to have heat. And I'm always doing stuff, projects or whatnot, so I need to have good heat. So all these little things, little propane heater and a little kerosene convection heater is not enough anymore. So anyway, this is it's a Dyna-Glo Delux portable forced air heater. This is a multi-fuel, so that's number 1 and number 2 diesel, kerosene, heating oil, stuff like that. Whereas my convection heater is kerosene only, I believe. So this is nice. It's a lot easier for me to get diesel fuel than it is to get cheap kerosene, because at the moment, I don't know where it's at. The closest kerosene I can buy is prepackaged in gallon or 2.5 gallon jugs, and they're really expensive per gallon because it's convenient. I have to drive quite a ways to get it out of a pump. Let's see. Nothing is cooperating. It's already together, so that's pretty cool. I don't want to have to put anything together right now. It's freezing in here. It's about 5 degrees. This isn't as big as I thought it would be. I think that's it. Got a handle. Check out the directions here. Just have to remove these 2 Phillips thingies. Instructions. That's all you have to do for installation. That's great. Just put a handle on it and you're done. That's less than that convection heater needed. That I had to put all kinds of crap together. The other day, I have a video about that propane heater and the kerosene convection one. And I made that video the other day, and they collectively got this garage up to 65 almost. And it was only like 33,500 BTU between the 2 of those. So it actually wasn't bad, but it kind of took all day, sort of. And this one here is 80,000. So I'm guessing this will do really well. I already threw the box over there, but it says it heats up to 1,900 square feet. And this garage is 336. So I think this garage is 14 by 24. 14 by 24, yeah. It's not very big. So I don't think this should have any problem heating it. But in my other video I had on these heaters, I was talking about why I don't like propane, so I'm trying to get away from that. I'm basically just burning off some extra propane that I had. And that's the only reason I'm using that. And I was curious if it worked, because I found that little propane heater in my dad's garage. Okay. the one thing that sucks about this is it requires electricity, which isn't a big deal, but if I'm gonna weld with my MIG welder, then I have to unplug this because I can't have my welder and this going at the same time, and there's only one socket anyway. So, it is cold. I'm underdressed too, not even being responsible. I live in the Midwest, no better. On, off, fill fuel tank, plug in power cord, turn thermostat control knob to desired setting, push power switch to on. If heater does not start, turn thermostat control knob to higher position to start heater. To stop, turn switch to off and unplug power cord. Wow, so there's like no priming, no anything, no stupid dumb stuff you have to do before using it. Sweet. Alright, so gonna fill this thing up. Not using diesel yet. I keep buying kerosene because I'm an idiot. I guess I'm just gonna use this for now. I got 2.5 gallons of kerosene today instead of driving to a kerosene pump. Being lazy costs a lot of money. But I'd much rather burn diesel on this thing anyway. I'm just going to put this full gallon in there because I think it's a 5-gallon tank and it says 9 hours runtime. So, I mean, if you divide that at full power, if it takes 9 hours to burn 5 gallons, then you're looking at almost a half gallon an hour. So maybe I have 1 hour for this 1 gallon. Or I'm sorry, 2 hours for this 1 gallon? I don't know. I'm stupid. I don't know math. It's not even cold yet, and it's just, it sucks. It's been unseasonably warm this year, so we're all spoiled here in Iowa, and then all of a sudden it gets down towards the single-digit temps, and everyone's losing their minds. But it's really not that bad, considering it gets way colder than that here. Not sure what this little doohickey is for. Huh. Okay, so this is funny. So what I just said earlier about having to plug this into the wall, they recognize that problem and they give you a little plug so you can plug this in, have it running, and daisy chain this to something else, which, you know, is cool if you're running something small, but I'm not going to plug my welder into the back of that and then have both running on one outlet. That'll probably trip my system here, so I'm not going to do that. But runtime. That little thingy hasn't even moved. It's still on empty, so I hope this gallon I just put in is enough. I just want to test it. I don't want to throw all the kerosene I have in this thing just yet. I'm really bad about getting combustible crap everywhere in this garage. Put this in a decent spot so it's kind of away from everything. I have no idea what this is for. Front guard is hot. I really don't know what this is for. Maybe I should read the instructions. Got power cord. I like how it has automatic ignition too, because nobody really likes dealing with pilots. even though that's the way things been done ever. Put this in. Okay. Thermostat control knob to desired setting. I would love if it were 110 degrees in here. So that's what I have it at. Push power switch to on and it should start on its own. Wow. That was easy. Holy smoke. Things like an F-22 Raptor. Out of curiosity, I set the thermostat at 50. I want to see if this thermostat actually works. Here, I'll set it to 40. So let's see how long it takes to get to 40 degrees and see if it actually shuts off. This thing's cool. Oh, it feels nice. Oh, that's so nice. If you're watching my videos from South Florida or South California, and you have no idea what it's like to be extremely cold and then feel heat, there's nothing else like it. In my opinion, it's 1,000 times more satisfying than walking into air conditioning when it's 120 degrees outside. That's just my opinion. But being cold sucks. I don't think I mentioned it yet, but this was $169. It was on clearance at Menards. Menards being a home improvement store that I think is mostly in the Midwest United States, but I guess I've never really looked at a map of all their locations, but this thing's loud. But they have amazing deals on stuff. At least my store does. I don't know what this is supposed to retail for, but it was basically $170 plus sales tax. So that's pretty cheap for an 80,000 BTU heater that runs on diesel, kerosene, heating oil. So I know I'm rambling here, but I like numbers. So 9 hours of run time, 5 gallons. What'd I say? About a half gallon an hour. So that means a gallon every 2 hours. Let's say, just for fun, that a gallon of diesel is $4. So half gallon of diesel being $2. Each hour of the day that you're making heat with this thing, it's costing you $2 an hour. So if I come out in my garage and spend a 10-hour day in here doing as much as I can on one of the 5,000 different projects I have going on, 10-hour day would technically cost me $20 for heating. And that might seem like a lot, but it's better than being cold or being inside because you're too frozen to be outside. I mean, you can always dress more appropriately, but I don't like having coveralls and 500 coats on because you can't even move. I need my dexterity to do stuff, but anyway, I'm rambling again, but I just love heaters. Right now I'm kind of cheating a little bit by having this propane thing on, so let's kill it. I can't even feel this now. That other thing's like a blast furnace. why I did that. No way it's 40 in here. Thing's only been running, it's 25. Holy crap. I don't know why it shut down though. I didn't trip a breaker, otherwise the light wouldn't be on. Okay, I guess we're just gonna turn this up. Awesome. So the thermostat probably doesn't really work as accurately as it should, which I wouldn't expect it to. I'm gonna crank this thing that way it doesn't die on me. I want to get the temp up in here. Problem with thermostats, and in one of my other videos I mentioned this, when I had my convection heater going, the kerosene one, it was like 40 degrees outside anyway, so it was nice, but I had it on anyway, trying to get the temp up here to see how hot I could get this garage, and it just wasn't really warming up much. Then I had a ladder out and I was up there rearranging my fishing poles and redoing some of my lighting. Put my fishing net up there and my rakes, since it's winter time, don't need the leaf rakes. And it was like 85, 90 degrees up in the rafters of the garage, which I thought was really funny because heat rises, so all the heat's up there. So then down at human level, if you're 6 foot like I am, it's not very warm. But up there it's fantastic. So that's why thermostats like this one aren't going to work properly. I mean in theory, because if the thermostat's on the ground and all the heat is going up, you have to fill all that airspace up high and let the heat work its way down until it actually reaches the thermostat on the ground. So I'm not sure why this thing shut off when I had it set at 40 and it's only 25 in here, but see, some people just plug in heaters and they, you know, I run all the numbers in my head. I like looking into different sources of heat. Obviously, since my channel has log splitting stuff on it, I love splitting wood. But I keep getting caught up living in places where I'm not allowed to have a wood stove. Which I have a cast iron logwood stove and I can't use it and it really makes me mad. Man, this thing's loud. Feels great in here though. It's almost 30. I haven't even shut the camera off. Man, this thing's nice. That's probably one of the best purchases I've made in a long time. Wow. This is an awesome heater. So it's been about an hour since I started it. So it's been about 45 minutes since my last clip. And I gotta shut this thing off because I hate to say it, but it's almost 60 degrees in here and that's actually like too hot for me. Another crazy thing I noticed is when I started this, and I might have to look back at my clip from earlier, but I could have sworn this was almost like 80% humidity and now we're just above 60. So if this thing's actually drying out the air inside of this garage, then that's pretty cool actually, because humidity's been really high and you know, I get like, I don't know if you can see this or not. My tools are like sweating. Oh, yep, there's frost on this. And I hate my tools being all wet like that, and it's not really hurting them, but I still don't like that. I wish they would stay dry. But anyway, so it's kind of nice if it's bringing the humidity down. And to be honest with you, the fumes aren't really that bad. I feel like since this thing burns so hot, maybe it's more efficient, because this convection heater, man, that thing stinks. And I think it's because it burns real slow and it burns on a wick instead of being sprayed into a flame, you know. But anyway, so yeah, up to 60 degrees in about an hour with this thing. So what I said earlier about, you know, fuel consumption, $2 an hour for, you know, $4 a gallon diesel. That number is if you left this heater on all day long. So if you did a, you know, spent 10 hours in your garage, had this running the whole time, then yeah, you might burn, you know, five gallons of diesel in 10 hours. But if you get your shop up to about 60 degrees and then you shut this thing off, I looked at the time, so I'm gonna see how long it takes for that temperature to drop in, say, maybe the next hour. So 1 hour on, 1 hour off, and see the fluctuation in temperature. And if it's not super huge, then really you don't have to run the heater that much. So you turn your 5 gallons a day into maybe 2.5, maybe 2. So that's, you know, 2 gallons a day is $8, say, you know, just for fun. But so maybe it's not, you know, as expensive as it could be. And I guess it depends on where you live anyway. But if I walk through this door and go outside, which earlier I was blowing sawdust and crap out the door with my leaf blower, it is freezing outside. I mean, it is. And this, obviously this door, it's crooked and you can see daylight through it. The heat's going right out through that crack. And that door's always been like that. But it is chilly outside. So this, if you get your shop to 60, it's like a heat wave, really. So I don't need it to be tropical warm in here. I just need it so then I can't see my breath and I don't have to have, you know, a coat on or whatever. 60 degrees is plenty for me. Even 40 was fine earlier. I could have just shut it off then. But anyway, what else was I going to talk about? This thing is super loud. I know I said that earlier, but now that it's off, as quiet as it is in here, it's pretty nice. It's loud. That blower is pretty gnarly, so I never did. Now that it's off, I can turn my power strip on, and that powers up all of my chargers, and then this light here. And I guess I didn't have this on when this was running, but I'm kind of curious, you know, how much amperage it really draws. I don't know if it's like a light use, or if it's really heavy like my welder, where it takes a lot of power. Because the electrical at this house, if you run too many things off of one outlet, it kills the breaker all the time. So I also have this electrical cord that I ran in a past video for my power strip over there. So if I want to use anything over on that part of the garage, I have to, you know, disconnect one or the other, but usually I have batteries charging, so this top one is what I plug that extension into. So, but anyway, leave this thing off, see what it does an hour from now. I recommend it for sure. So right now my store has this for about $170 on clearance, and I kind of thought, man, that'd be nice to kind of buy them up because they're handy. I have different places that I work at that I like to have heat. This convection kerosene heater, in a past video I said I was going to sell it, but I'm actually going to hold on to it, and I'm going to put that in the shed that my excavator is in, because it requires no electricity, so I can heat it in there if I feel like working on my Coyote or my mini excavator. But yeah, this thing's really cool. The only problem that bothers me is the noise, but if you're somebody who likes fabricating things or doing projects, whatever, I almost wonder if there wasn't some kind of way, if the noise bothered you enough, that you could have this heater like outside of your garage, And then use some like flashing for like air ducts, or you know, something that like your plenum would be made out of for your furnace. And like make some kind of thing outside. So it basically is like outside and then producing heat. And then you have like another fan that like draws it through and pushes it inside your garage. I don't know if it'd be any, you know, any more quiet, but just an idea. I'm always trying to think of ways to, you know, somebody walked in here and tried talking to you, you wouldn't be able to hear them. That's how loud this is. I really don't know how great my GoPro picks up sound, or how it portrays it. I mean, if you have your sound all the way up and you have headphones on when you're watching this video, it might seem really loud. But if you're on a laptop, you know, laptop speakers, it might not seem bad at all. I don't know, but. So, yeah, I'm gonna wait a bit, see what the temperature in here does. All right, so it's been the same amount of time off as it was on. So an hour after killing the heater, it is now 50. So 10 degrees in 1 hour is not bad loss, especially considering that this garage is not insulated, and look at the crack around the door. So, but I will say it is starting to get a little bit chilly. So I'm gonna fire this thing back up again. I'm gonna let it run for another hour. So we're at 50 now, so in an hour, let's see what we can get it to. I'm hoping, my goal is to get it to 70. Man, I barely caught that. Started doing some weird stuff, and then it was kind of shooting flames out. Not bad, but just kind of pulsating like it just was, and then shut off. So it's blinking, which if I look at the directions, it should probably tell me why it's doing that. My guess is it's out of fuel. I only put a gallon in this thing, and you know, even when it gets down to a certain point, there might still actually be kerosene in there, but it just might not be picking it up, or it's, you know, wherever the pickup is. You could probably tilt this thing one way or the other to get it to flow into the intake or whatever. But so we're at just a tad over 70. So that was my goal, but I think I might have went over an hour, so it might have been an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half, but still it's 70 in here, and the hydrometer got down to about 60. Not sure how accurate that thing is, but that's fantastic because it's cutting the humidity in here. 70 in here, and if I walk out that door, freezing. Oh man, yeah, that's crazy, the difference. Next few times that I use this, I'm gonna switch over from kerosene to diesel, and then maybe I'll get some more footage of it just to see kind of the difference that it makes, if any at all. But yeah, if I have any issues with this thing or learn anything new, I'll be sure to let you know if anyone's interested in one of these. Anyway, I highly recommend this Dyna-Glo Delux 80,000 BTU multi-fuel heater. Awesome. Game changer for me. So now I won't have to mess around with that convection heater or that propane anymore, which I'm still going to burn off this propane just to get rid of it. I was kind of just playing with that heater for fun, but anyway, any questions or anything, let me know and I'll try to answer them. But in my future videos, you'll see this thing set up because I will be using that for heat the rest of the winter. All right, thanks for watching.